On the list of iconic defining vehicles, I think this Toyota Hilux might take the crown. My name is Peter, welcome to a new Autofuel video, and today we are going to check out what the fuzz is all about with this pickup truck. Of course, it is a truck with a gigantic legacy and a very rich history. Everybody from the army to the fire department to mountain rescue, anybody that does something serious with its car turns to the Toyota Hilux because it is a reliable and practical starting point of a vehicle. Because I don't think anybody buys a Toyota Hilux and keeps it stock. This is a car that you're going to build on. Anything from rocket launchers to light bars to tents to outdoor gear, you name it, it is possible. And if you can't buy it off the shelf, you just get a welding machine and you start bolting it on yourself. So that's cool, and I think that is also the essence of the platform. We're going to see what's what with this car. Starting here on the front, over time obviously this car has evolved a bit and has been modernized and so on. But I think here it looks quite fresh with the nice LED daytime running lights and a very modern face, but still very recognizable as a Toyota Hilux. Here on the side you get a bit of a sense of scale with that classic pickup profile. This is a 5.32 m vehicle, so it is really long, and it sticks out from every parking spot you try to put it in. It's not super wide, but it is mainly very long. And that again shows that this is not a city vehicle or anything. It is really a workhorse. Now we'll get to the rear in a second, don't worry, but I want to show you this rear door of this Invincible version. There's nothing here. You could have another row of seats here, no problem, but in this version there is nothing here. So this is completely bare, and you can start building and putting things here. So anything from pumps to generators to seats to shelving, however you want it to be. And that again sort of underlines the fact that this is a starting platform that you can then build upon. Now we do have a little window into the cabin here, and we have a window in the rear as well to look at the truck bed. But yeah, there's nothing here. And you can even see that the window on that side is completely blinded out. But this one is still there. So that's actually handy for checking your blind spot. Another thing that we can see here, I'm on a bit of an incline, you can see the hardware down here, and that's really cool. Because this car is all about its hardware. It's such a serious piece of machinery. When you see stuff like this, and you see the sheer size and the heaviness of the metal and everything, you get the confidence that this is indeed a vehicle that is invincible, like it says there on the back. Now that Invincible logo is not entirely for me, but it is nothing until you've seen this one. Oof, that is a lot of lettering. For me, I would take that off immediately. But again, here on the back you get a sense of the scale of the vehicle and that this vehicle means business. It's things like this tow bar, for example. It is such a chunk of metal here. Just the sheer size of it, it just gives you confidence that this is indeed something that is invincible and will not let you down. Now I'll open the truck bed in a bit, but I'll give you a peek down here. You put this down, you get a bit of a sense of cargo capacity, and that is of course under this cover. Once you start putting tents and racks and everything else on here, you can go as high as you want really, as long as it fits in your car park, I suppose. But yeah, that really shows you again that this is a starting platform. I'm going to mention that a few more times, but I think the main thing that I've noticed like dealing with this car is just the robustness of everything. Like things like these hooks, they feel so solid, and it just means business. Things like this too, like these actuators, it's just all so solid, and I think that is the real strength of this vehicle. Now to give you a bit of sense of scale, I sat down in the truck bed. It is big in here, but it's not one of those extended truck bed versions or anything. So it's still standard as far as that goes, but I think I can probably sleep here diagonally with a bit of effort. It is very bare. There's no real features here apart from some tethering hooks. And the whole thing is finished in, I don't know what the material is exactly, but it feels like some kind of applied plastic coating that will never scratch or break. So that's also nice. It gives you that feeling of robustness right away already. And the same thing goes for this bar up here. Again, it feels very strong and robust, but again, that's obviously a starting point to mount your lights on, to put winches on and go crazy. I have to say it is very bare here, which is nice as a starting point, but it is also to the point where it is maybe a bit too bare. Last year we drove the Maxus pickup truck, the electric one, and that already had some measuring tools on the truck bed and some options for cup holders and a few plugs here for charging your power tools and so on. So you really got the sense that that car was built for handyman or contractors, for example. Not the case here. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's cost saving or whatever it might be. Of course you can add those things at some point. I'm sure you can find a company to do that for you, but at least from the factory it doesn't have that. So obviously I'm going to give you the cockpit tour, and that is actually the only thing to tour because behind us there's nothing, and then we already have the truck bed. It is very Toyota in here, very Toyota, and that is good because this is one of the cars that defines the brand, I think. Everything in here is manually operated, so that is already good, and it makes sense because this is a work vehicle. People with gloves sit here and they don't want anything touchy swipey that will not work when it needs to. So everything is buttons, buttons, buttons. It's just this screen in the middle that is of course a touch screen. That is something I want to point out right away, is that this whole unit comes straight from a Toyota Aygo. That is a bit of a letdown, to be honest, because this is a 65,000 euro car as it sits here in the Netherlands. So that's not cheap, and this, I understand that you're probably going to rip this out and put like a military grade sat-nav in there, all fine, but yeah, come on, from the factory it should have been a little bit nicer. And there's a few more touches like that, like the plastics here on the steering wheel and here on the window switches surrounding it. Come on, that could have been a little bit more premium. But that said, I fully understand that this is a workplace and it needs to function, and most people that buy this car don't care about that. What I do care about is the fact that I'm looking at analog dials. It is so cool. All the digital dashboards these days are fine, of course, and are very functional and in tune with the times. But to just have analog gauges, it is just so cool. The red line here is at 4,500, by the way, for this diesel, so that's nice too. And of course things like top speed as well are completely irrelevant, but you know, big gauges, clear, easy to read, with a little screen in the middle for your trip computer and so on. And also to turn all the driving aids off, because that is also in tune with the times. Those have to be on the car. Even Toyota doesn't escape legislation. So that's fine. It also gives you a very nice steering wheel, simple, round and robust to navigate everything in the screen. And also things like your phone button and so are in there. And there's a little cruise control stalk underneath. Simple window switches here as well. Simple mirror controls also. And that is really all you do interact with most of the time. In the center though, we find most of the series hardware. We got a little clock up here, so that is always nice. Down here I have a switch that I can go from high 2 to high 4 to low 4. So that's of course your four-wheel drive system. Then the entire climate unit, but underneath we also have diff locks, hill descent control and so on. So that's all your more serious terrain settings. We got two 12-volt outlets here to charge everything and everybody. And then in the center console we have some storage, a cup holder and your drive mode and your mode selector. And that is your sort of terrain response system where you can further fine-tune the four-wheel drive system. Gearbox, simple PR, N and D, and you can even shift yourself if you put it in sport mode. Manual handbrake, a little storage cubby and another one over here under the armrest with a 100-volt real socket. So you can actually charge things in here if you want as well. Then the seats, black leather, which falls in tune with the whole black theme in here. It is very black in here, I have to say. But also again, very nice and robust with seat heating, like I mentioned. It is quite comfortable in here, and you do feel comfortable up here. You're high off the ground. You feel in command of your vehicle, good view out over the hood. So that's actually quite nice. And it does give you a feeling of purpose in here right away. I mean, despite all the things that you know the car can do, it is nice that the moment you get in, you feel that robustness and you feel, it says invincible on the back, right? But you almost feel invincible right away. You're like, oh, this is business. This is a serious vehicle. So as far as that goes, mission accomplished. Albeit, yeah, those things that should have been a little bit more premium, I think that is a missed opportunity from Toyota. There is a 2.8 liter diesel in here. Yes, yes, diesel, good old reliable diesel. And that actually summarizes everything, because obviously I asked Toyota, like, why is there still a diesel in here? Where's the plug-in hybrid version? Where's the battery version? And they go, well, all those things are nice, but this is a car that people's lives rely on. If you're a mountain rescue somewhere in the backcountry and you have to start fiddling with the software because your battery says, no, today I don't want to work, That's unacceptable. And diesel is reliable. It is, as long as you get fuel, you're good to go. You can fix this with a screwdriver even when you have no access to modern tools or laptops or anything. And that is the essence of this vehicle. And I think that's really cool. The only problem is, especially here in the Netherlands, that emissions are an issue, also for Toyota. So they have added a 48-volt hybrid system to this, not to add power or to decrease the 0 to 100 sprint times or anything. No, purely for emission reasons. It gives a little bit of extra boost under acceleration, especially to bring emissions down. That's the simple name of the game. Still though, 2.8 liter diesel is fantastic. It really fits this car and it really fits the way this car is deployed as well. So that's really cool to see. So obviously a little taste of driving. We are now on the side of the highway, sort of half going into forest. And I got it in 4 high, so not even touching any diff locks or any other crazy settings. And that already gives you a feel about how capable this car actually is. It was the same with the Land Cruiser, like I didn't even touch anything crazy there, and the things this car can already do in its most basic settings is very impressive. And it gives you that sense of like, ooh, it might even say invincible on the back, but this car actually does feel like it's invincible and will always keep going. And I think that's really exciting, and that's exactly what this car should feel like. Now, by no means at the moment we're very comfortable. We're just bouncing around a little bit at no speed at all. But yeah, it's that sense of occasion and that sense of adventure that I can totally feel already just driving this car up and down a little bit of terrain. Before we continue driving, a little point of attention. If I look over my right shoulder in my blind spot, no issues whatsoever. I can see through this little plexiglass window and then also through the window of the rear door. No issues there. But if you look behind me over here, you can see that it's quite a black hole because the left door is blacked out for some reason. That's for this version. I don't know really why or what that would add, but that means that in my blind spot on the left side, I really have to like look through the front window in order to see anything. So that is quite annoying, especially in city driving obviously, but also on the highway. Now before we head towards the highway, a little bit of city driving here in the area where I live. Immediately, as soon as you set off, you realize that this car is not made for city driving. It's too big, it's too mechanical, it's too cumbersome. It doesn't feel at home here at all, in any way, shape or form. This is sort of still in the area where I live, so let alone you take it into a city center and you just have to start doing parallel parking and so on. This is not the vehicle that you're going to have a good time in. Everything is heavy, the operations are heavy and mechanical, which is fantastic, but not in those kind of situations. And overall, it's too big, it's too cumbersome. It doesn't feel at home there. So that is a quick conclusion we can make already. So meanwhile, we have arrived here on the highway, currently cruising at about 100 kilometers an hour. And just like city driving, it's not really a place where this car feels at home. By no means, you know, everything is fine. This cruising is pleasant in the diesel, very torquey engine. I'm doing less than 2,000 revs at the moment, so you know it's fine. But this is not the car that you're gonna buy for cruising. Let's be honest. Obviously, you can take this on your ski holiday, throw your snowmobile in the back, and all your gear. No issues whatsoever. You know, it's all possible. But with a fuel consumption of 10 liters on 100, for a diesel, let's be honest, those are not great numbers. And Toyota is honest about that. Huh? They say we didn't add the hybrid, the 48-volt system for more range or anything. We just added it for emission reasons, just so we can pass those emission tests. So that's all fair. But for 65K for this version, you can buy a lot better cars also for long distance cruising. That said though, it's perfectly reasonable, it's perfectly fine here, it's relatively quiet, but yeah, the same things as in city driving. The operations of everything feel heavy, mechanical, which is very nice, but don't really add to a cruising experience. And of course, the blind spot here also comes into play. It's just annoying when you're doing normal traffic work. So after driving this car for a week now, there's a bit of a double feeling. On the one hand, it is absolutely fantastic. The feeling you get as soon as you get into this car of the ability of the platform, that you can just take a ride here and just plow through a field, no issues whatsoever. I had the same with the Land Cruiser. The actual invincibility feeling that you get in here is really, really nice. And that's even before you start to deep dive into all the modifications that you can make, because that's a whole weekend on YouTube and all kinds of shady websites for you. You want anti-aircraft gun on the back and a barbecue on the roof? No problem. You want a double camper van and a horse box in the back? We can do that too. You want to add your snowmobile and a cooking center? No issues. So it's really great that you can add all that stuff and that this really serves as a platform to start building upon. And I can absolutely see that whole world coming together, taking this car to a off-road club or to a Hilux club and sort of exchanging ideas and talking about it with your mates and going camping in the forest in Belgium. I can absolutely understand that feeling having driven this car for a week now. So that's really cool, and I like that. And on top of that, it's people like this. I said the same thing in the Land Cruiser and the Jeep Wrangler and the Toyota Supra, for example. People think this is cool. When I'm at the gas station or a few times as I was filming, like people come over and be like, what is it? Like, is this the new version or what's going on? Can I sit in it? Kids love it. My 8 and 11-year-old sons have already placed 3 orders and are wondering why we're not making bank deposits into building this car out to whatever fantasy they have. And it's really nice to share that passion with other motoring enthusiasts, so to speak. Because it's nice, it's sharing the pleasure of owning a vehicle like this. I can really see how that works as well. On the other hand, it is always very difficult for me to test vehicles like this, because without like a full support team, where am I going to test this? In the Netherlands? Like, I'm sure I can take a few forest trails like you saw earlier, but that is about it. And of course, you're always tire limited with these kind of things, but yeah, I can drive it up a dune on the beach or something, but without a support crew, getting stuck in this is kind of embarrassing. So there's only so much testing I can do, which is always a bit too bad, that you can never really see the full potential of what a car like this is capable of. So if you are in some kind of off-road club, or if you're watching Toyota and you have some kind of crazy off-roading event or anything, or if you want me to plan it, that's fine too. Call me, I'll come film, I'll come join you. I don't even have to drive, I'll sit in the passenger seat and we'll just make it a cool, fun day out. If anybody is doing that kind of stuff, let me know, I'm happy to come. So that's a bit of a dual feeling at the end of this week, but in general, I have to say, I quite like it. It is, I had the same feeling in the Land Cruiser, which is of course a similar kind of proposition. It is so nice to have a car so analog, so raw, and so capable under you, and getting a little bit of a taste of what's possible. I think that's really cool. Does it have flaws? Yes, of course. The interior, you know, there's a few things we can debate about. And I also don't think this is a car necessarily built for handyman or contractors or anything. But the fact that the army drives it, that the maintenance crews drive this, that mountain rescue drives this, says it all, I think, and sort of adds to the legacy and the mythical status almost of this car. And driving this now for a week, you get a little bit of a feel of that, ooh, okay, yes, this is a serious piece of kit, which is cool, and it's really nice. So thank you, Toyota, for borrowing it to me for a week. We should definitely do that again sometime. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if that's the case. Let me also know in the comments how you feel about a Toyota Hilux. Is this the coolest thing ever, or mwah, not really, you'd rather have a Lamborghini or something? Let me know. I think it's cool, and if I ever move to a farm, I'm definitely getting one of these. That's all I got for you in this video. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up, and a sub to the channel is always appreciated, of course, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.